Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestleslam, the podcast brought to you by Manscaped.com and the Macau Casino, Cork City. I'm joined by the one and only Phil Connolly. And yes, we are bringing you a brand new show, fresh from an explosive week last. And of course, we will talk all things WWE, All Elite, Impact, and Irish Wrestling. Now, yet again, in my opinion, it's still a kind of a relatively quiet week, Phil, since Money in the Bank. There's been a few things happening, but like it's not been an explosive week. Things have kind of died down a small bit, but yet again, we'd like to thank everyone that have watched our interviews and our special Money in the Bank show that are on YouTube right now, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to all them shows. So I'm going to talk, obviously, tonight Raw, guys. Cody Rhodes is going to deliver a special message to Brock Lesnar. We have a face-off between Ricochet and Logan Paul, potentially a SummerSlam match right there. Good move for Ricochet, in my opinion. Drew McIntyre is set to join forces with Matt Riddle against the Imperium. Ciampa and The Miz are set to seek and inflict punishment, and no disqualification match that will happen on Raw tonight as well. And yet again, the show is brought to you by Manscaped.com. So Phil, first of all, fresh after Money in the Bank, it's been about a week and a bit now. I've still got the holiday blues from London. I'm missing London, but what's your thoughts on, I suppose, last week with Raw, SmackDown, and look, heading into tonight's Raw, obviously Brock is back. What's your thoughts on that, first of all?
I think the first thing is we really need to kick it up a gear for SummerSlam. It's not that far away. It's like August 5th. It's like three and a bit weeks. The Logan Paul thing, I suppose, tonight will kick off that match. There was a bit of news about Logan Paul, which was weird. I don't know, is it like people were saying he shouldn't have said it, but I thought I didn't care enough to think, but he got a lot of hate about it. I don't know if you've seen it. He said basically, he said he didn't know what he was doing out there.
Which is strange. Yeah.
It was a weird one because he got a lot of hate. I mean, I just kind of was like, it's just a wrestling show, like there's nothing to be sort of pushing that hate towards him, because it was a terrifying moment at the end of the day.
And like he's not a bad wrestler.
No.
We have to say that, like, there's guys that have come into the business and they've been there for years and they play it safe and they're still bad, but like he is a bit of a daredevil. He does excite us. We seen him at on SmackDown, and obviously Money in the Bank was pretty cool,
But the thing about him as well is he's had all these highs. This was his first real kind of setback. So I can understand he wasn't prepared, I suppose, like he should be, but you really never are prepared for these things when they happen. When you watch it back, his leg did get caught, and that kind of pushed him a little bit to the side, and he shouldn't have. They couldn't flip properly because his leg went one way, and it looked weird. But yeah, and then do you know what was actually very good about Raw last week, because we didn't have a show since the Miz. The Miz, how serious he was. It was different.
Are we seeing something come? Is the Miz going to get like a bit of momentum going? Is he, because like we know he's a farmer, he's numerous, he's won all the belts pretty much. He won the title a couple of years back. Obviously, he had a short run with that, but like we know he's a great guy. The Miz he's iconic, Is it a case they're going to push him again?
I don't know. He's in this whole situation now with Ciampa.
Seeing that.
Is the Miz going to get a tag partner to go against Ciampa and Gargano? I don't know. He might.
If they were to pick a tag partner, who do you reckon they could pair him with? It's interesting, isn't it?
Dominic Dijakovic from NXT.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Who was that guy that used to be with him many, many, many years ago? I know Damien Sandow, but there was a guy before that. Remember the guy that beat him? He was an NXT star. He was in a couple of movies as well, I think.
Oh, that's on the top of my head.
Come back.
Alex Riley.
Yeah. They'll never bring back Alex Riley, will they?
No, he's like last I heard. Now he was in NWA Power. He's in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
So it's very tough to kind of I suppose, judge what way to go with him, I suppose. But like again, he was probably, I think John Cena, he pissed off John Cena at one point as well.
No, he did. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on all this stuff about LA Knight? There's a lot of people going to town on them saying like, it's a phase that will phase out, like, and like what's your take? You know what I mean? Is the bubble burst or is it still there and he's still going to be the man for months to come? Because people are saying like there's a couple of wrestlers coming out saying he's replicating The Rock and fucking Stone Cold and this and that, and they're saying Kevin Nash said he's not original, but I love him. Like, what's your thoughts? Yeah. Can he hold on to this vibe or is it just going to be something that will fizzle out?
Very, very hard because like look at Austin Theory, he was on this run for a while there. And then and he beat John Cena and it just went skyrocketing downwards. I really like LA Knight, but I think this has all happened so quickly that this could easily be taken away. Like last week there, I think he was one of the highest rated segments and he wasn't even on TV. It was just on their YouTube, social media.
Yeah.
He was doing millions of views with his Hit Row and segment there and before SmackDown. Like keeping him off SmackDown was criminal. Their last they really missed a trick there.
Why do you think they kept him off SmackDown?
I think they're changing his character is what I read. He was listed as a heel, but now he's going to be a face. So I'd be intrigued to see where this goes. Is he going to fight Austin Theory for the US belt at SummerSlam? I don't know. He might.
I think he'd beat Austin, would he?
He should do, yeah. I think you have to push him, but you can't push him to the moon and back, if that makes sense. I think he's just overexposing is what I'm kind of going for, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting SummerSlam. Obviously, look, that'll be live, guys, as well at the Macau Casino, Cork City. So if you are a wrestling fan, make sure you pop in there where we host all the major pay-per-views. The Rumble being one of our favorites, but yeah, it's just I don't really go on social media as much, but like I do kind of see things trend, and sometimes I kind of when I log on my phone on a break at work or whatever, like I see that people are going to town. Not everybody, but there's a few people going to town LA Knight. And as you say, you don't know, is it just a jealousy thing or what,
But yeah, but the sad thing is all these people, right, are all out there saying, oh, he's too old and he's this. But Damian Priest is older.
Yeah, he is, and I was just getting to that as well. I think obviously we did say, look, we said in the last show, look, if he won Money in the Bank, we'd be happy with that too. But I reckon he's gonna cash in at SummerSlam.
Yeah, there's definitely something in play there. I think. JD McDonough as well is going to be involved in all of this.
Yeah, I read there's two scenarios, Phil. I read a scenario that he's going to cash in before SummerSlam and obviously beat Seth Rollins, and then at SummerSlam, then you're going to see JD McDonough help Finn Balor to beat Seth Rollins. Oh, sorry, to beat Damian Priest. But I don't think it's going to happen like that at all.
That's too hot-shotting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, he's got the belt for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, fights Finn Balor at SummerSlam, which is a good thing, I suppose, given the chemistry they have. And then obviously JD McDonough comes out, bang, hits Damian Priest, and Balor gets the win, and he's the new champ,
Yeah, no, it's too what's that word? Too overconfluted.
Yeah. What do you reckon goes down? How does it all happen?
It wouldn't surprise me if we see Finn and Seth again. Because he was kind of screwed.
Yeah. And then he cashes in then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have that case going into WrestleMania. That's going to be well gone, that case. I don't think you're going to WrestleMania with that case. Because I think they have their matches made already.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, because I like your opinion, I think you're always like 99.9% of the time you're right. But you think they'll both be successful cash-ins?
I was going to say, no, I don't. I don't think they will.
Do you think IO's going to get fucked?
I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey fights Io for the case.
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's definitely something there with that. I think there's way too much. Like they're going with Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka at SummerSlam. So I can't see EO being in that mix. It's just too messy.
I get you. I get you. No, it's doable, but it is messy. Now, I am a sucker for a triple threat match. I think at a Mania, I always love a triple threat. Like a 1-on-1 is great because like you have obviously like when you have the Rock and Hogan, that's an iconic 1-on-1. Austin versus Hart, Michaels versus Flair. These are good 1-on-1s, but sometimes I think when titles are like there's not a long storyline, I do enjoy it like a fatal four-way triple threat. To give other people a chance. It's very kind of unpredictable when that happens. But like this SummerSlam, like to me, obviously, they say it's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. It's going to be interesting how the card actually lines up. Obviously, I think we're going to get Brock and Cody. That's fair to say. We don't know who's going to face Rollins yet. And it's probably the same with, you know what I mean? Well, Jay is probably going to fight Roman. I think that's fair to say, is it?
Yeah, I'd say they have 5 or 6 matches they have in their own heads. There'll probably be another 4 or 5 that they'll add throughout the weeks coming up. So I'd be intrigued because SummerSlam's always been one, that's always been one that you would expect to have great match. I think I see Becky and Trish again.
Maybe Randy and Riddle.
Yeah, exactly. I think Randy Orton is due back, and it could actually happen tonight.
Yeah, it really has to be kind of tonight or next week, but I'd say tonight to give it momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if they do a 6-man tag at SummerSlam, just to ease Randy Orton and Drew back in,
and get Randy to turn them in at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you reckon we'll see? I know we're kind of looking far ahead, but do you reckon we'll see Bray Wyatt back soon? There's talks he's back as the Fiend.
He's back as the Fiend, which is really bizarre, because I thought that I'm not. You know me, I'm not a fan of that at all.
I know.
Yeah, so I'd rather it just died and he just did something else. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's really lost in character, isn't he? I think they really don't know what to do with him, and I think that's actually a really scary thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there. Like, if you look through the roster at the moment, Piper Niven, Nikki Cross, Tegan Knox, all of these are all talented people, and they're just not. They're not even seen. They're not even on TV.
Yeah, no, it's really scary. Like, I think it's tough. It's tough. You know what I mean? You have such a big roster, like especially with Tegan Knox there, like a girl that we absolutely adored at OTT. That was the first time we met her, Nixon Newell. But like it's look, there's so much talent there. I think they should really shaft a couple of them back to NXT. You look like Jinder Mahal there. Jinder's absolutely lost.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wrestlers I would shift back to NXT. Like NXT has the potential to be absolutely fucking massive if they can shift a couple of big names back. Like I'd put Ziggler there. Anyone on the fringes, I'd like even though Baron Corbin's there.
Mustafa Ali is fighting Wesley for the North American belt at Great American Bash. That's kind of what you're at, like.
Yeah, and like Mustafa is good, like, you know what I mean? I think he's had numerous offers to go elsewhere, but I think he's working his way back to get back to the top. So like, you know what I mean? I'd put Jinder back there. I'd put fucking
there's loads of them.
Dolph, you know what I mean? Where's Bobby Roode? Like,
yeah, I think he's got a serious injury.
He must. We haven't seen him on the screens for about a year. More,
longer, 18 months, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that there now as well. Like, but it's just lost. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're completely lost. They're completely lost. Right, we have to give the fans for a quick update there, just in regards to All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of rumors floating about as of late. You know what I mean? That it's completely sold out. So. Right, as it stands, I think this says there's 70,000 tickets sold for about 9 million US in ticket sales for the show in London. And obviously then the statement says it's going to be massive. We are opening more seats up for that. So it looks like they could push it to maybe 80,000, Phil, that's fucking...
They'll lie at the end of it. They're going to say 82.
You reckon there will be 82, yeah?
No, there won't be, but they'll say there's 82.
Well, what do you reckon there will be 75 there, though,
75 55-ish, yeah.
That's some attendance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, again, they didn't even announce any matches for it. So it's all just kind of going on what they're going to give you. I
Well,
know
that
it's
could be.
not going to be bad, but like it's still kind of no matches announced or nothing.
Yeah. That's kind of it's going to be interesting. Like we know at this moment in time, Phil, CM Punk he's kind of trending a lot. So do you want to give the fans the latest update via CM Punk? He's always in the headlines. He knows how to make it happen.
There's a few. Do you know what? Since he's come back, he's been level-headed and he's been more mature than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
I
Well,
heard
for now, anyway.
a couple of stories came out there. One yesterday that I thought was really stupid if it's true.
Yeah.
You know, there was an injury to Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
We're missing a guy. Yeah, apparently, CM Punk wants to be in the match. And John Moxley okayed it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And Kenny Omega was open to the idea, which is good. I'm glad that Kenny's coming around because like this thing needs to stop. Like
Yeah,
this,
no.
like being on opposite sides of the arena is ridiculous.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, it's in this day and age, it's dumb. Like just
It's
get
childish.
get these guys into a room for 3 hours, 2 hours, hash it out.
I'm surprised that Jericho hasn't stepped in yet, made that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, Jericho, like he's the one guy that could probably step in, and to me,
But
he could be the ideal leader in that locker room. Like,
it seems like the Young Bucks are the ones that are stopping it now. So they're
Yeah.
the two, because Kenny Omega was open to it. CM Punk should be in that match for star power.
yeah, I agree.
That's on next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, Punk's in the headlines, but this time I don't think it's his fault. I think
No.
he's trying to mend things from what I gathered.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing because he needs to chill, and so the Young Bucks and Kenny as well. It's just a bad vibe off him. I don't know.
That's wrestling for you. I'm looking forward to I suppose, I'm gone blank. Dark Side of the Ring. Imagine that now in another 5-6 years, they'll be talking about all the incidents backstage. But yeah, it's look, as you say, look, there's a lot of people from Ireland, from Europe going to All In. And they obviously announced All Out as well, Phil. You've seen that, yeah?
A week later, yeah, in America.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like,
Chicago, is it?
are they going to have back-to-back pay-per-views? Because that's ridiculous if they are.
Well, they could really flop in ticket sales for that one.
Well, pay-per-view buys, like why would you in America they're over $50? Why would you be spending $100 and something in a week?
Yeah.
It's too much. Like I think the England show should be their show. Like they shouldn't even be doing another one. They really
Yeah, no, they shouldn't. Yeah, it's so close. Like obviously, there's a lot happening in All Elite though. It's as you like, you know, we have the Own Heart tournament. There's obviously All Elite Wrestling Collision. But what's your thoughts on FTR at the moment? An interesting match announced for them next. Yeah,
did a great match last week on Collision. But
were you surprised with the result?
No, not really. I think
you're a fan of Jay White, aren't you?
Yeah. Like they're good, but like again, this kind of booking of them winning against FTR is not going to get people talking. I know the match was very good, and I am a big proponent of good matches, but you need more.
Yeah.
FTR, they are good, but is Tony Khan trying to prove a point that anyone can lose to anyone? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
But again, the show's been dropping in TV ratings every week.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, what are they doing now? Is it 700,000 or something, sir?
The last one was nearly 5, I'd say. That's
a lot. Like that's a big drop, isn't it? From fucking 900 to 5, like.
Yeah, they dropped 150,000 every week or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That is a lot, you know.
Eric Bischoff was on about in his podcast. He said they dropped 27% or something in the first week.
Jeez, how do you explain that to the board? I know Tony Khan is the board, like, but I suppose, look, when it comes to the TV deals they have, it doesn't look good for them, does it?
Apparently, it was the number one show on cable. I don't know how, but it was the number one show.
Yeah, their standards mustn't be high, so
I don't know. Because again, like how many people have cable these days? That's the other side of it, because people watch YouTube and Netflix, and you know what I mean. Like people don't have cable like they did in the old days.
Yeah, no, I know. It's mad. Everything's online these days, and I'm surprised cable's still a thing. Maybe in some states in America, they're old school, you know. They still have their satellite dishes, and they're all, you know, HBO and buy into TNT and all that shit, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of just AEW, there's one or two small stories. They're only small things.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette and Matt Hardy are having a Twitter debate.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two legends of world wrestling. I would love. I think there's one thing I'd love to see in general. Though I'd love to be in a room with Jim Cornette and then say, "Oh, we've got a special guest and bring Vince Russo in." Imagine that.
I'd love it.
Imagine that.
Love it.
Who said they're going to piss on their grave again? I think Jim Cornette said he's going to piss in his grave.
Yeah.
They have some agreement, like if whoever goes first, I'm going to piss in your grave.
Yeah.
But imagine Jim Cornette and Vince Russo. Imagine the tour. It would
Mm.
sell millions of tickets worldwide. You know, Jim Cornette and Vince Russo. Will he ever bury the hatchet, Phil?
I don't know about burying the hatchet like that, but I'd say if push came to shove and there was enough money on the table, they definitely would.
I'm gonna put it out there, Jim. I know you interact with all your wrestling fans around the world. Here in Ireland, we're gonna put an offer on the table, right? What would it take to have yourself and Vince Russo on stage? You know, no shaking hands, no chat beforehand. Just literally two of you arrive on a plane to Ireland. We'll bring you to Cork Opera House. Jim comes out from the left side. Vince comes out from the right side. How much will it take to make that happen on the stage? Will it ever happen? That's the question. I think that's a good theory right there.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know what would happen. I don't know what they're. It's been a while since Vince Russo has really talked about any of this, or even Jim.
Yeah, but it is something that would be huge. Like, you know, we see a lot of stuff like obviously the Ultimate Warrior and Hogan burying the hatchet. That was a pretty big thing. But yeah, would Vince and Jim Cornette shake hands one day? You know,
I don't know.
be interesting.
Would be
Be
great.
interesting. Yeah. So anything else that we need to cover? All Elite.
All Elite wise, not so much. Just the one thing I did want to bring up. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this MGF ridiculous over the top babyface nonsense. I don't know about you, but like I really hated the cake and the hats, and I don't know. I just wasn't for me. You see the birthday cakes and in the gym.
Yeah, I see that. I don't like all that stuff. That seems to be a lot of that happens a lot with MJF though, doesn't it? He's kind of like he's got that kind of.
You know what it's like now? It's like we have nothing to do. We need time to fill, and we can't keep doing the same thing. So let's just become buddies.
I was never a fan of that shit. Never. Even talk shows on wrestling shows, like when you have Raw and you have the Miz TV, and
it only worked once that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was never a fan of any of that, to be honest. I prefer backstage promos, brief. You know what I mean? I prefer matches.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah.
There's one other thing I wanted to bring up as well. What was it again there now? There was something about Tony Khan should have stopped Sting from diving off that table. There was no need for it, like.
Yeah, no, it was quite dangerous, but I think he got away with it in the end, though.
Yeah, he
did, you know what I mean? But he's taken enough bumps. It's not the case of third time lucky. It's like you're a cat with 100 lives. You know what I mean? You are a man, and don't get me wrong. When I'm that age, I'd love to be able to do a moonsault or a backflip, or even just play football with my grandchildren and dive to the left and dive to the right without worrying about breaking a rib. But I get where he's coming from. But like Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? I think one of them bumps will catch him, and it might be the case of you know what I mean, a burst lung or like a broken rib or like something like that, you know.
Yeah. My last thing then as well. Big congrats to Eddie Kingston on winning that the New Japan. Because that's his first big title win. I don't think
dream come true for Eddie.
Yeah, he's never really had any titles anywhere.
Yeah, he's a veteran. Eddie, you know, obviously we know how hard he worked the indie scene, you know, but yeah, it's well overdue. I'm glad you mentioned that, and I hope he comes to Dublin. I hope he comes to Ireland and defends that at OTT.
It would be brilliant.
Mm.
He's due a date because he's missed 2.
He's missed 2 for obviously personal reasons. We know he really wants to be in Ireland. So, Eddie, are you going to defend that new title, that beautiful title in Dublin, Ireland for OTT show? There's a lot of upcoming dates. Look at the calendar, my man. We'll all be happy to see you there. We all want you there. So, I think Eddie should maybe make one of them first defenses in Ireland.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see it.
Let
I
you happen, Eddie.
love to see that.
And he will get a hero's welcome.
Oh, 100%.
A hero's welcome.
He's been here loads of times, so he got loads of reactions when he was here before.
Yeah.
I suppose the last bit there I had on AEW is the final next week. Ricky Starks and CM Punk.
Yeah.
I'd love Ricky Starks to win, but I know he's not going to.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, yeah. But it would be nice if he did, you know?
That's a shame.
Yeah, it would be nice if he did, you know? But you never know. Maybe there's a little change in the plan, but I don't think so. But yeah, that's probably it, Phil. We were
There's a little bit of Impact Wrestling news that just came out actually today.
Yeah, shout away.
So as everyone knows, Steve Macklin picked up a serious injury when they were in Australia last week. So now the tag match is still going ahead, and Bully Ray has a new tag partner, which I'm very kind of underwhelmed with. For anyone who doesn't know, the tag partner was announced on Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray's podcasts. So apparently Diener is going to be Bully Ray's partner, which I like Diener. I'm not against Diener, but like he was nowhere near the storyline. He was nothing to do with it. I don't think it makes any sense to put him in.
Yeah, no, I've always been a fan of Diener. I actually had him on. I had him on a couple of months back, and he's just a good guy. You know, you can listen to him all day. He's a guy that's grafted hard for many years, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes sense to me that he'd be in this high-profile match. I know it's unlucky that Macklin got injured, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'd say it could have been Macklin's pick, though.
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been Macklin's pick.
But again, Slamversary is on this weekend. We'll run through it next week when we have our show next week.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we'll do an on camera show again soon. I think a lot of people liked it. There was a lot of people out working around the place, just in general. There was only a few, but they said, "Oh no, it was good to see you on camera back in the hotel, and you looked very shattered." I was like, "Yeah, look, we had a tense few days, you know." But yeah, no, that's it for this week. It's always good to get on for 20-30 minutes every week. We'll have an Impact guest on next week, guys. And we'll obviously have the pre-show for SummerSlam and much more.
We have a guest on this show next Monday.
Yeah, we'll have a guest on with us next week as well. Do stay tuned. A former guest, and we might have 2 guests on. Who knows? We'll that'll be Mike. You know, it's always good to have guests on. So yeah, I think people always want to come on. So I think next week will be a good one. But yeah, time will tell. So guys, thank you for tuning our way as always. The Wrestleslam the podcast brought to you by Manscaped.com and Macau Casino Cork City. From myself, Jerry Collin, and from the one and only Phil Connolly, we thank you for tuning our way, and we'll catch you soon, guys.